Well, so I will try to start studying here in order to motivate myself in a sort of way. So I will put this. I will put the music right there. And I will see this about charts of English. Okay, so the topic is English levels. I have to little investigation about this, and I don't know, just gather some information. Task is not really clear, you know. Then I have to search um psychology things. Yes, it don't make sense, but I have to do that. Thinking schools, you know, like conductis and constructivism. Professorship, professorship tasks. Don't know. What's on your task basically for minds anyway? Doesn't matter your students sharing your word in which speak language learning content. As a matter of fact, English fluency actually begins a couple of flavors lower than C2. We know this thanks for the common European framework of reference of languages. It is good to say that probably the rights will be private because of this. I'm testing the copyright things, copyright terms of the music. Ah, I don't know. Ah, que toque. Ay. Yeah, you're hurting me. It is quite fun because my teacher said that vocab level means that when you are writing, you usually write around this amount of words, which I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Otherwise, ow! Stop hurting me, please. Otherwise known as super beginner at I1 level English. You have very limited knowledge of the language. However, you will still be able to manage everyday situations with commonly used expression and vocabulary, as long as the situation is familiar. This means you will be able to get around London, Vancouver, or Los Angeles, but not without clumsy interactions, and opening only translates a ton of times. I want English learners speak slowly and with pauses while they search for the right word. So it can take a little patience from native speakers to have a real conversation. What are you doing? What can you do at A1 level? At A1 level, English learners can introduce themselves simply using basic readings and conversational starters such as the weather, understanding very basic directions from natives, get around cities by reading civil signs, poster and notice, with very simple description of their hobbies and interests. The best way to refer to a A1 proficiency is to start learning and stick with it when it comes to building new skills. Everybody needs to start from scratch. One of the biggest challenge is starting task and keep your momentum. You will be embarrassed at first and you will make mistakes, but this is something you need to accept to upgrade your English proficiency level. At this point, you should try some easy to use apps such as Duolingo, which are designed for true beginners and stop being as helpful as you reach A2 level. You are you are seeing this, Chiri? You can then use vocabulary from these apps to build your own flashcards. Finding good content when you are at beginner level it's difficult. So here is Ollie Richards with some advice. Advice. Oh, oh. Try not, do or do not. There is no try. Uh, do or do not. What do you need to know about A2 language? At A2 proficiency of elementary level. What are you doing, Kitty? You can take part in every small talk and express your opinion, but still in very simple ways. And stage. I'm sorry, I forget to change the not only the camera position but this. What you can do at A2 level. At A2 proficiency level, English learners can talk with the English speakers and networks with English speaker colleagues on familiar topics, understand slow, frequently used expression in areas such as shopping, family, and employment, write about the matters of immediate needs in simple terms and basic description of family and friends, read short, simple texts containing high frequently vocabulary and shared international expressions. Although A2 is technically still beginner level, you will have to cover serious ground to reach it. By this point, you should start having uncomplicated conversations. One great tip. Study conversation topics which are likely to come up in day-to-day life. In other words, survival English. An effective way to learn it is also to prepare a cheat sheet or journal with everything you may want to say for a basic conversation, such as background about yourself, your hobbies, which restaurant you recommend, etc. This stage you should also take a serious look at the verb conjugation and past or future tenses. Grey Grom, Grey Gorm give up. Oh, me cuesta, ¿eh? Bueno, le echo la culpa a la hora. 9:15, no. Estaría siendo mi mejor momento. Grey Worm gives me pride. It's a lucky name. The name this was born with. Whoa! Whoa! The name this was born with was Gust. What do you need to know about B1 level English? The steps between A2 and B1 it's a big one, and it means you achieved a degree of confidence in English. This is when you can go in clothing stores and restaurants and won't have any trouble making requests from the staff. However, when discussing a topic you are familiar with, your sentence will start feel slow and you will still have some difficulty. Why? When discussing a topic you are familiar, your sentence will still feel slow. Why? At this level, students are beyond the basics, but they are still not able to work or study exclusively in English. However, you can cope with problems in everyday life, such as entering conversations you haven't prepared for, or dealing with problems that arise when traveling. When you reach B1, you should have a working vocabulary about and you can recall about half of them with some speed. It takes approximately. Don't get me wrong, when they are saying when you reach B1, you should have a working vocabulary of about 2,500 words. This means that you know that words, but you are not writing that amount of words. I mean, the problem here is my. She's so fucking dumb sometimes. This doesn't mean you must know how to write to the number of. It means that at B1 English level, intermediate, you typically understand and can use around. So no, it's not about writing 2,500 in words. It is about how many words you know and you can use. My teacher is just dumb. I don't have another definition for her. So, welcome to Basic English Fluency at B2 English level. You have built confidence and control when speaking, writing, listening, and reading in English. This English level is good enough to function in English speaking workplaces, schools, and college. And you can now produce complex sentences and sound natural in normal conversations. Sure, your English had its own flavor or accent, and you are certainly not quite ready to deliver a speech on Kantian philosophy. However, you know have the language skills to live in an English speaking country comfortable and work in an English speaking office. When you reach B2, you should have working vocabulary about 4,000 words. It takes around blah 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 blah. What you can do at B2 level. At B2 proficiency level, English learners can take an active part in discussions, familiar context, and provide relevant explanation and arguments. Understand standard speech spoken at normal speed, provided the topic is reasonably familiar. Understand the main ideas when reading a complex text, blah 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 blah. Write clear detailed text with subjects related to the interest or area of expertise. I'm mad because my teacher says that I need to write things outside my area of expertise, but she also says that our level is around I1. So it's frustrating, just the mistake. Another thing that it's quite important is that she used this page to say those things. So she's okay. So I won't read this. I will read this. That is the idea of why is this. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. This levels useful. Why are those levels useful? I guess I'm so sleepy right now. Some of the instruments produced within the continent of Europe have played a decisive role in teaching of so-called foreign languages by promoting methodological innovations and new approaches to design teaching programs, notably the development of a communicative approach. They have facilitated a fresh approach to communicating these teaching methods in a manner potentially more conducive to operational appropriation of unknown languages. By thus identifying languages needs, they were able to pinpoint the knowledge and know-how required for attaining this communication threshold. The CEFR organizes languages proficiency in 6 levels, A1 to C2, which can be regrouped in 3 board levels: basic users, independent users, and proficiency losers, and that can further subdivide according to the need of local context level. Can do descriptions. The level did not sign parents from anywhere in 2001. Just for the record, I will end this stream in about 10 minutes. Probably when I finish this. Guess I don't have the energy to still doing. Well, I will finish this and then this, and I will write something to use it tomorrow. The first specification of this threshold level was formulated for the English language, threshold level 1975, quickly followed by the French. I won't read French, I'm sorry. These two instruments have been used de facto as models for the same type of reference instruments that were produced subsequently for other languages, but they were adapted to suit the peculiar features of each language. In order to meet the teaching and certification requirements, the level concept as defined was extended to cover specification of level line immediately below and above the threshold level in the light of development in this field, particularly as regards the CAFR. Other levels were developed for a number of languages. These proficiency levels constitute one of the origins of the 6-level scale of the blah blah blah. I will pass this song because I need to try the copyright of this playlist because I want to hear this playlist while I'm studying. So launched in 2001, the SAFR marked as major turning point as it can be adapted and used for multiple contexts and applied for all languages. The SAFR is based on all these achievements and has developed a description of the process of mastering an unknown language by type of competence and subcompetence, using descriptions for each competence or subcompetence, on which we shall not go into further detail here. These descriptions were created without reference to any specific language, which guarantees their relevance and across the board applicable. The scriptures specify progressive mastery of each skill. which is graded on 6-level scale. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. However, for textbooks authors, teachers and other professionals. Hi, Kitty. Gatita. Ahora no me voy a olvidar de cambiar la cámara. Don't worry. You're hurting me. Ah. Me está llenando de pelo el pantalón. You are letting fur on my clothes. You can see her. I won't read this today. I'm too tired. So, can understand and use familiar everyday expressions and basic phrases at the aimed at the satisfaction of needs of a concrete type, can introduce him, herself, and others, and can ask and answer questions about personal details such as where he or she lives, people he she knows, and things he she has. Can interact in a simple way provided the other person talks slowly and clearly and it's prepared heart. Can understand sentences and frequently use expressions related to areas of most immediate relevance. Stop hurting me, please. What are you trying to do? Are you okay there? Mwah. Mwah. Can produce simply connected text on topics which are familiar or of personal interest. Don't get me wrong. My classroom needs to improve a lot, and we will improve, but they are missing the point of this. When they say that we are here. Don't get me wrong, we are not here. And probably we are not here either. But if you say that we are here, you are just lying. Like always. Don't get me wrong, they are such liars. Well, life. It is what it is. What are you doing with my me? Can understand the main idea of a complex text on both concrete and abstract topics, including technical discussions in his/her field of specialization. Can interact with a degree of fluency and spontaneously that makes regular interaction with native speakers quite possible without strain for either party. Either party. Either? Either? What is the pronunciation of? How is the pronunciation of this? What? Either? Either. Either. Either party can produce clear, detailed text on a wide range of subjects and explain a viewpoint on a typical issue given the advantage or disadvantage of various options. Can understand a wide range of demanding longer text and recognize implicit meaning. You know, my teacher asked us to read the history of. I have it here. The history of Britain in English. The Age of Shakespeare here. She asked us to read this book. And we are A1 users, you know. You can't ask us to read this. We are A1 users. But they don't care about their own words. Well, this is the end of today's streams. It was quite short because I'm so tired. And because tomorrow I'm going to train really early, like almost always. So I will say goodbye to you.